of the major tenets of democracy is that it allows people to choose from a plethora of options who wants to lead them. One of the major reasons democracy is touted as one of the best form of government is that the people have the power to choose. But when the choice is taken of the people, when the system is designed to not give people options, democracy is defeated. Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk on J101.9 FM. My name is Amis Daniel Chukwemeka, and like we do on the morning show here on J101.9 FM, we bring you the most interesting conversations in the world of politics and social life. And today we'll be talking about the ADC conundrum. What is happening at the ADC? Is it internal, or is it, like some have said, the monkey's hand are trying to distort and disrupt things in the ADC? We'll be having a guest that will help us understand what's happening in the ADC at the national level, also at the state level, and Nigerian politics in general. We are gearing up to the 2027 general elections, and it seems as though the political space now, more than ever, is getting hotter. The conversations are getting more, and everybody is looking forward to the elections. But yesterday in Abuja, we saw series and scores of protesters take the streets to protest what they deem as an unfair treatment to the ADC by the All Progressive Congress and INEC. Again, like I said before, we'll be having those conversations. You can be a part of our conversation this morning by going to our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's at JFM Live, and on X, it's at JFM Jaws. We've got a number of interesting headlines for you. We bring you those stories, and then we head right into the meat of our conversation. We are still on to Let's Talk on J101.9 FM. We'll be right back. This story from the Punch newspaper this morning. This one says Wike-backed PDP fumes over Makinde ADC alliance plan. The People's Democratic Party bloc, backed by Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, held a meeting on Wednesday with former Senate President David Mark and ex-Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola of the African Democratic Congress as part of a political realignment for the 2027 election. The party leaders reportedly agreed to form a strategic alliance aimed at unseating President Bola Tinubu in the forthcoming polls. Impeccable insiders within the PDP and ADC camps, who requested anonymity due to lack of authorization to speak publicly, disclosed that a closed-door meeting held at David Mark's Apo Abuja residence centered on collaboration between the PDP and ADC, the choice of platform, terms of engagement, and power-sharing arrangements as consultations continue. However, the camp of the Minister of the Federal Republic of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, in a statement issued by the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee through its National Publicity Secretary, Jungudu Mohammed, dismissed reports linking the PDP to any alliance talk with the APC. Speaking to journalists after the 2-hour high-level meeting, Governor Makinde described the gathering as a show of solidarity. The major opposition parties, the PDP and ADC, are currently grappling with internal leadership crisis marked by the emergence of rival factions and ongoing court disputes. Additionally, following a recent Court of Appeal ruling, the camp of the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nyesom Wike, Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has tightened its grip on the PDP, while Independent National Electoral Commission on April 1st derecognized the David Mark-led ADC. Opposition leaders who were at the Wednesday meeting include former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, factional PDP National Chairman Tanimu Turaki, SAN, former Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, former Governors Rotimi Amechi, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, Aminu Tambuwal, Peter Obi, Babangida Aliyu, former Minister of Information Professor Jerry Gana, and PDP National Secretary Taufik Arakbaja. Others were the ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi, and his PDP counterfeit Ini Ememobong. Well, this meeting hopefully would produce something good for us, even though I expected this to have happened a long time ago. I remember here my thoughts on the PDP, the ADC crisis, even long before it became this full-blown, was that when you are going up against a monument, against a mammoth, against a beast of a political opponent like the APC and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, logic and common sense suggests that you form alliances that would help to win you the war. The APC did it when Bola Ahmed Tinubu, alongside his friends and families and cohorts, came together to form the APC, merging 3 to 4 parties to form what we now know as the APC. He did not do it by sitting and complaining. He did it by getting people interested, people who were equally as aggrieved as he was, to come together to come for a coalition. I think right now, the meeting between the ADC and the PDP yesterday in Abuja hopefully would be a journey towards such coalition. Now, whether or not the coalition would happen is a different conversation. Whether or not this coalition would lead to something good is a different conversation. But for now, it seems as though people are beginning to see that the person behind, in front of them, the obstacle that they are dealing with, isn't one you can deal with kid gloves. Like they often say, when you are going to a fight, go with all of your ammunition. Well, we have our guest who just joined us right now. And the man who continuously speaks against the APC, the one who seemed not to like the president so much and has said a number of things about him that some would call borderline not so good. We've got the former Minister of Sport with us, Mr. Barrister Solomon Dalong. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you here.
Well, good morning. But I think you should correct the impression of I don't like the president. That's a bad narrative.
Do you like him?
Yes. I only dislike his mode of pattern of leadership. So I think that narrative should be discontinued.
All right. So he doesn't dislike the president. He doesn't like his mode of leadership.
Yes, he's a human being created by God. So it's not for me to dislike him.
All right. Welcome. Let's start off with the ADC. Before we go into what is happening in the states, let's start from the national. Yesterday, protesters in Abuja took to the streets to protest what they deem an unfair treatment to the ADC. You are a very strong member there, the leader here in Plateau State. I want to get your thoughts on the ADC, the new formation of the ADC, and the ongoing brouhaha between ADC and INEC.
Well, I think the protest yesterday was to send a message to INEC that INEC cannot constitute itself into a court of law to interpret the judgment of the court of law. That was the essence of the protest. And to tell INEC that for behaving in that manner, INEC has created an impression that it cannot be trusted with the credible management of the 2027 election. Because if INEC had confusion or misunderstanding of the court order, the appropriate thing for INEC to do was to go back to the court and sought for interpretation. But INEC constitutes itself into a court of appeal on the judgment of a court of appeal and also implemented it. And so as Democrats, we saw that as a dangerous trend, because if INEC is allowed to go that way, we will wake up before the election with INEC announcing that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been amended, and we have King Bola Ahmed Tinubu as in charge of Nigeria. So the essence of the protest is to safeguard democracy, basically, but not anything to do with the ADC. Because for us in the ADC, we understood the judgment of the court very, very clearly. And we have lawyers among our folks that understood the meaning of status quo ante bellum. And the Electoral Act has categorically provided that courts of law cannot interfere into the domestic affairs of the party. So it is not for INEC to choose and pick or to apply what the court did not intend to satisfy or suit its own purpose. So I think basically that was the motivating drive of the protest yesterday.
The current head of ADC, let me use that word loosely here, David Mark, said there is no faction, that the ADC will still go on to hold this convention. But we've seen the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amopichon, say that based on what their lawyers say, first off, David Mark's faction cannot, I'm using the word faction here loosely, cannot be recognized because nothing, according to Professor Amopichon, exists right now. My first question is, would that convention hold? And if it holds, on what law is ADC backing the convention to hold?
The only faction in ADC is INEC. INEC is the only faction of the ADC. But that any faction exists elsewhere, to the best of my knowledge, it is unknown. And because INEC is now the faction of ADC operating in the offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission, with Josh Amopitan as the national chairman of the faction, definitely he will be announcing faction. But for me, as a lawyer, the Supreme Court has defined what is a faction in a political party.
What is a faction?
And Josh Amopitan is a professor of law and a senior advocate of Nigeria. So he's familiar with this interpretation. The Supreme Court has said a faction is deemed to exist where the National Working Committee of the party is divided into two or multiple groups, thereby making it impossible for members of the party to pledge their loyalty to the leadership of the party. That's the definition of the Supreme Court. So, if Josh Amopitan has not announced himself as the leader of the faction in ADC, does he have any interpretation? Can he apply this interpretation to anything that happened in the ADC? The ADC's National Working Committee is intact. The ADC is running its own affairs. That somebody has approached the court, that he is the chairman, and the matter, mind you, has not been adjudged by the court.
No.
It has not. The court has not even ruled on whether his claim is justifiable. What went on appeal was an interlocutory appeal. It has to do with the issue of an ex parte application brought by the person who approached the court seeking to prevent INEC from uploading the names of the National Working Committee of the party, meaning that he recognized that there is an existing National Working Committee which is seeking the court to bring down their name. The court has not decided on this, and the matter went on appeal. And the Court of Appeal said, go back to where you were before approaching the court. And on the 9th of September, where we were, we had David Mark and the National Working Committee in control of the party. So, where did Professor George Amopitan got his own interpretation of the status quo ante bellum, that he now constituted himself a court and also into the enforcer of not only interpreting the judgment of the court as it fits him, then going in, moving again to delist the names of the leaders of the party. From that court order, is there any categorical order that asks Amopitan to remove the names of the leaders from the platform? Can anybody show me the court order? So if there is none, where did Amopitan derive that order? So please, if you are talking about faction, we know as a fact that the only faction we have is led by Professor George Amopitan, who is called the INEC chairman.
All right. Right now, I think I saw yesterday that somebody from the Kachuku side of the ADC have also come out to say there's no David Mark part, there's no Mr. Gombe part. Theirs is, the legitimate one. Has the David Mark in this war, has the David Mark part of the ADC, for want of a better word, since you said faction as defined by Supreme Court doesn't exist, has the David Mark divide of the ADC met with Nafiu Gombe? And what has been the conversation, if at all they've had a conversation?
Well, as to whether we have met with Nafiu Gombe or not, I think it's not an issue of the public consumption, because it could have been engagement based on goodwill. So I will not, in my position as a responsible leader, be discussing issues we discuss in good faith. But the point here is Nafiu Bala Gombe resigned on the 17th of May as the Deputy National Chairman of ADC. After his resignation, He mentioned in his resignation that he resigned so as to pave way for a transition that was ongoing in ADC. By 17th of May 2025, I wasn't a member of ADC. On the 25th of July 2025, the ADC was unveiled. The coalition moved into the ADC and it was unveiled, where the leadership resigned and there was a public ceremony of the handing over of the party.
Sure.
Matthew
Was
Balagombe was well seated there.
Sure. Evidence shows.
On the 29th of July 2025, there was a National Executive Council meeting of the party, where all members of the council of ADC assembled and endorsed a new National Working Committee. This NEC that met, the NEC was not affected by the resignation because the resignation only affected the members of the National Working Committee who run the daily affairs of the committee. And the constitution of ADC provides that every action of the National Working Committee will be ratified by NEC because the NEC stand in the gap of the National Convention. So the NEC on the 29th ratified the appointment of a new National Working Committee on interim basis to take over the running of the party. Matthew Balagombe was there. He on that day has not remembered that he was supposed to be the one who would have taken over. He didn't remember. Until on the 2nd of July, Matthew Balagombe remembered that, oh, there was a vacuum that has existed since 29th of July, and he was supposed to take over, and he went to court. So he has gone to court with his matter. The matter will be sub judice if I go into the merit and the demerit of the issue. But I've just given a historical background of what happened. This particular claim has not been litigated. Okay, if there is somebody who had come up again and said, we sack this, we sack that. In democracy, such things are allowed. There is freedom of expression guaranteed by the Constitution. A right becomes legitimate when it has the pronouncement of a court of law. So if somebody said, oh, I'm the chairman of the party, I've sacked him. Oh, today somebody just woke up and say, oh, I am the new Bangom, just have sacked the Bangom. Then we will now go on air and begin to discuss that, oh, there is faction in Birom land. Oh, the Birom Traditional Council has been divided. Oh, somebody wakes up now and said, oh, I'm the Ponji Tarok, even though we don't have one. And they will say, oh, the Tarok are divided. What are we actually saying? Wishful thinking. Or, let me be more traditional. A bad dream does not stop you from sleeping.
A bad dream does not stop you from sleeping. The ADC, the party you belong to, up till now, do not have a presidential candidate. Before I come to the state, because I think it's an important part of the conversation, some people have said that the coalition, the coming together of these different people, would not pan out well for Nigerians. They say, the argument is that many of these persons are with the APC before now, and because they feel aggrieved and they feel hurt by the presidency, haven't not gotten what they expect of the presidency, that is why they're here. What's your thoughts on that? And do you feel like this coalition of people, comprising of yourself and the other, political stalwarts in the party is good for Nigerians, and they are not just aggrieved persons who are more angry as the president than they are about the situation of the country?
Well, I think, again, people are free to think the way they do because we are human beings. But it is not even a right way of thought for somebody to think that, okay, those who are in the ADC are aggrieved because they didn't get what they wanted. Let me not speak for others, and let me take myself, because I always like to discuss what affects me because I can defend it. I was the director of contact and mobilization in Tinubu's Strategic Council. But when Tinubu meted the idea of the Muslim ticket, I resigned. Because as a God-knowing Christian, I don't know how I will explain to my God that I'm in Nigeria and that somebody decided to wake up and say the Christians do not exist. And this is a tradition that has been maintained in our political history for a very long time. And he's not giving those of us who are campaigning for him reasons why he was doing that. So I became very, very uncomfortable. And I told myself, I can't be part of this. And I took my pen and resigned. So will somebody who is arguing that I didn't get what I get, that's why I'm aggrieved with Tinubu, will such person's brain be a normal human being's brain? I think we need to get a psychiatric judge to examine it because something may be getting wrong upstairs. Again, let me take my colleagues there. Tinubu is going around buying people to the extent that he is even buying governors, as is alleged, 250 billion. And he has people now that have a crowd. People that Nigerians can listen. Some Nigerians can listen to them. You think he will not be willing to buy them and do business with them? Or gather people around him that all that they can do is to distort the reality of the Nigerian situation and make him believe that all is well. Now, let's come back to the issues of why these people have gathered in the coalition. There is nothing I will need in Tinubu's government that I will not get. If I want to be relevant in Tinubu's government, I don't even need to go and look for anybody. I have that his cap with handcuff given to me when I was a director of this. I have it up to now. That cap that has handcuff on it. I have it. All I need to do, I have the APC big gown. When I was campaigning in 2015, I have more than 4 of them. All I need to do is to pick the one that we went to Lagos and wear that cap that has handcuff and took picture and post it on the social media. Tinubu will look for me. So those arguing are people who do not think good of the country. If Tinubu will give me money, will appoint me minister, and I will be going around enjoying while people are suffering with hunger, which I know very well. I know that the issue of insecurity has worsened beyond any dimension as we know in this country. Because in just before, we know it was for unknown gunmen, Fulani herdsmen, all type of criminals that the government changed their name anytime it is convenient for them. Now I don't know what name they will give this new set of people that drove into the center of the city, gathered intelligence about the people, moved there, sprayed them, and killed them. This dimension, we have never had it on the plateau. A very dangerous dimension, which means that these terrorists can move anywhere within plateau and eliminate the citizens of this state. This I know as a fact. And let me congratulate the president. You know, under the tradition of Imiloko, where the president is the chief priest, if people are mourning, you ferry them to an environment and lock them in a room and then pay condolence to them. So let me thank the president for finding Plateau people worthy of paying condolences after the very devastating attack. But when he arrived Plateau, time started fighting him. He has no time even to condole with them. After locking them in the airport, he just told them, time was against me. I am leaving in the next 10 minutes. I want to thank the president for that honor. And we pray that this God in his infinite mercy will also allow these terrorists to attack his family house so that we can go to the airport and condole with him.
All right, let's speak about ADC in the States. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember the exact date, there were stories and skirmishes that the ADC in Plateau State isn't settled. Some say, again, I would want to lean into your definition of factions. There are different divides. Some persons saying they are the chairman, and others say they aren't. As one of the highest ranked member of the party here in the state. I want to get your thoughts. Is there a divide in ADC in Plateau State?
No, the ADC family on the plateau is united. But like I said earlier, you don't prevent people to promote their interests and call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. You don't prevent them. You know, that is the beauty of democracy. I can wake up today, but I can live here and begin to declare myself national chairman of APC. Thank God we have now another new national chairman of APC. So the APC that was dancing and shouting that, oh, ADC, go and put your house in order. In fact, some of their spokesperson, I spoke with one young commissioner in Kogi, where his former governor is standing trial for 108 billion naira fraud. But he was able to come to the television and say, ADC, go and put your house in order. ADC, go. Okay. Now we have a brand new chairman of APC, a young woman, very intelligent, who had announced herself and said she is the chairman of APC. So the APC now has what? Faction. And I'm waiting for Professor Josh Amopitan today to delist the name of the leadership of the party. If he doesn't do that.
But has the woman taken APC's course?
I don't know, but she says she's on her way to the court. But what Amopitan is doing is not interpreting court order. Amopitan is the one that is declaring faction. Don't you know what I've said before? It's not the court. I don't want us to blame our court. The Court of Appeal is very clean in this matter. It is Amopitan who declares the faction. So now there is one in APC. We're waiting for him to remove the names of the national leadership of APC.
Who is the chairman of the ADC in Plateau State? Do you have a chairman?
The chairman of the ADC in Plateau State, our congresses are beginning today. But the chairman of ADC in Plateau State, who was elected in the 2022 Congress, is Honorable Samuel Gyang. He's from Northern Zone, because the leadership of the party in 2022 was zoned to the Northern Zone. So he was the elected chairman of the Congress.
But there are stories that he was suspended. What happened? Why was he suspended? And did that suspension still hold till today?
No, well, before we came into the ADC, there were 10 chairmen who were suspended, including our one on the plateau.
Okay.
So they went to court and the matter was in the Supreme Court. And then INEC advised that if we will go into the party without resolving this issue, then it will be the main issue that will cause crisis in the party. So INEC has a department called Alternative Dispute Resolution. The Alternative Dispute Resolution was activated. The coalition element, the aggrieved chairman, the party leaders met. And it was agreed that they should withdraw their suit from the court and they should be returned to their positions.
Okay.
So they withdrew their case from the court. 9 of them were returned to their positions. But the one on the plateau who was acting refused that she was not going to step down. And she was elected in 2022 as a woman leader.
Not the chairman.
Not even the deputy chairman. Now, because I was not in ADC, so I cannot talk for them. But nobody explained to us why a chairman was suspended and the deputy did not take over. But a woman leader from the same zone against the zoning of Plateau took over from Sam Gyang. So when Sam Gyang was returned and she said she was not going to hand over, the new leadership of David Mark called for a reconciliation in Abuja.
Okay.
I was invited as the leader of the party on the plateau. She was asked to bring 5 people. Sam Gyang was asked to bring 5 people. We met before the national leadership of the party. Every one of them was given the opportunity to present his or her case. It took us 3 hours. At the end of the day, the case of Hanatu Gagara was that she has worked for the party and she has supporters, so she didn't know what to do with them. And the party leadership asked her whether those supporters were her personal property or members of the party. And she said they were members of the party. So if they were members of the party, they would be loyal to the party and not you. Now, before going for the constitution in Abuja, when the ADC took over the party, 2 positions were zoned to Plateau State. The National Coordinator Diaspora and the Zonal Woman Leader. I was appointed the National Coordinator Diaspora, and Hannatu Gagara was appointed Zonal Woman Leader. Myself and Hannatu went and signed acknowledgement INEC form. We signed. After the signing, we were inaugurated on the 29th. She was there. So, at the reconciliation, a leader from Benue asked her, the last I know of you is you are a zonal woman leader. Why are you talking about chairmanship on the plateau? She said, she didn't say anything, but one of the persons who accompanied her said, she was not consulted. So the deputy national chairman of the party, who is a woman, Senator Kwachike, told the person that, no, you are lying. I was there when she signed the acceptance form of INEC. So she accepted her position as zonal woman leader, not central. At the end of the day, the party appealed to her that since she has accepted and the party has committed itself that it will return those who were suspended to their position in an agreement, Sam Gyang should continue with his tenure until the end of his tenure, when Congress will be conducted, while she holds her position as a zonal woman, not central. They all accepted. They had a handshake. They made statement, and we prayed and said amen. So for me, a God-knowing Christian, my Bible teaches me that whatever is settled with prayers should not be made nonsense of. So I held on to the decision of the reconciliation, and I came back to Jos. That is the position I know up till now, because nobody had come to me to say, the decision in Abuja before the national leaders had been changed. Nobody has told me up to now. I have asked the leaders of the party, so nobody told me that anything has changed. So it will not be fair for me to sit here and say there is faction on the platform.
But she has been parading herself as the chairman. She was even in the studio and she said that she is the chairman of the party and that the Sam Gyang faction is not the chairman because he was suspended. That was why I asked you that question. So if she's saying she's the chairman, has the party met with her to understand why she's parading herself as such?
Well, I think maybe you didn't hear me well. Because
in the recent
my voice
weeks
is so husky and
no, not at all.
People don't understand me very well. I have asked you this simple question. We went before the national leadership of the party. She accepted.
When was that?
The resolution there. This was in around September.
Last year.
But
this year, she still says she's the leader.
So if she's still saying she is the leader.
And they have an office.
Yes. Whether she has an office or not. You now that is here, can you advise me now? If you were in my shoe, the leaders of the party, you witnessed a reconciliation, and somebody said, he's the leader, you will expect me now to go with her assertion that she's the leader of the party or to follow the leaders of the party. Please give me this advice now so that I can continue. No, advise me so that
I'll advise you at the end of the show. Let's change gears quickly to INEC, which is at the center of this. I'm going to read something accredited to you. And you said that Professor Josh Amopitan was your colleague at Unijust and is a man with zero integrity. And I'm asking this question for very obvious reasons. Now, I'm going to read out this short excerpt here to get your thoughts on it. He said, I was surprised when Tinubu announced someone like him to head INEC. That man has no integrity. You say, according to this statement, he is deceitful and unscrupulous. I have known him since 1991 at University of Jos, first as a student of his department and later as a colleague in the same faculty of law. We both served as lecturers in the faculty. Do you question, to get your thought here, the leadership of Professor Josh Amopitan as the INEC chairman, and do you trust or not trust that he can deliver credible elections next year?
Let me correct the impression, which may be printer's devil or a mischievous ambition of reportage of the journalists who couched my statement. I said Professor Josh Amopitan I know since 1991 as a student and later as a colleague in 2004 has no integrity, and I still stand by that. I back up my assertion with one single event, and I did mention that I have so many others that happened, that I witnessed in the faculty, that I can still put forward. And one of the instances I referred to was when, under his leadership as dean, 16 students who had 2-1, right from 100 level, had their results traded off and given 2-2.
So when you say traded off, like this switch
and
results?
Just listen now, you wanted an explanation.
Okay.
And some students who were privileged students and absentee students who were even not coming to class regularly had graduated with 2-1. So one of the students, a lady, she's still alive. All the students I'm talking, they are still alive. One of the students, a lady, cried as if she was going to die and went to my colleague who is left now. He was doing his PhD and complained to him. That my colleague took up the issue, and the faculty, the dean told him, look, if you continue with this issue, you are not likely going to have your PhD. So he abandoned it. And the girl came to me in my office and explained everything. She came with her results from 100 level to 500 level. I still have copies in my library. 500, she explained everything. I said, what happened? She said, they said the faculty had decided to review and give her 2-2. So I took her on, and she now told me she wasn't the only person. There were more of them. Unfortunately, all these 16 students were Plateau State students. Unfortunately. So I took her results and asked her to invite the remaining 15. They came with their results. And I went to meet Josh Amopitan. He was at the car park trying to embark in his car. And I stopped him and I said, sir, I'm coming from the town. And the people in terminus were saying that there is 2-1 for sale in the Faculty of Law. So if the 2-1 have been sold, please let him give me my own share of the money. And he said, please, we are outside, let's go into the office. We went to the office. I repeated myself, and I gave him the results of the students and wanted him to explain why this could happen. And his explanation was that computer was used to compute the results. And I asked him the second question. So this computer hates Plateau people too much. It only profiled 16 people from Plateau and denied them of 2-1. I said, I would want to see that type of computer. Then he appealed to me. Instantly in his office, he restored the results of 6 of the students. Instantly. What I'm telling you are facts within my knowledge, are facts that every man or woman of integrity who knows this in the faculty will confirm it. So, if this is such a person that is INEC chairman today, Nigerians will wake up in 2023 to hear that the computer of INEC did not recognize the presidential candidate of other political parties except APC alone.
Alright, the phone lines are open 09055 or 08121877777. The phone lines are buzzing already. I'm sure many of you want to hear your thoughts. You can also join this conversation by going to our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's at JFM Live, and on X, it's at GFM Just. Let's make a few calls. Hello, good morning. Apologies there, I couldn't pick your call early enough. 09055 or 08121877777. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and your location, please.
Oh, that's your senior Comrade Bernard on the line.
Comrade Bernard, please go on.
Thank you very much. Please permit me to greet the man in the house, Dr. Barrister Solomon Dalun, whom I respect. You know, people don't know what they have until they miss it. A gentleman in the house is a fearless warrior. He doesn't fear anybody. And I know people hate truth. They might not like him, but he said, okay, look, I will say, you know, in faculty or not only in faculty or law, you know, if you're not a politician or you're not a big man, some professors cannot survive their thesis. That's their project. Just like that. And I don't want to go there, but I want to welcome him. You see, he's a man of the truth. Nobody likes nobody in Plateau State more than that I know the barrister here. Nobody. But no, somebody say he will die for. But he doesn't like any other person. But he talk about Buhari. He doesn't fear. People say, because which appointment? There's a second fiddle now. There's his chamber. He's a technocrat. He is a lawyer. And the dean. I met in 2005, but he later went to serve his rule Lantam as a chairman or what do you call it. But the issue is that truth is life. Truth is life. Okay, what he's saying here now, some people may not like it because he acquires our minds for negativity and for evil. But whatever we do, okay, look at what he's saying here now. I may recognize the assembly, the constitution of that National Working Committee, headed by David Mark, and they put it into their server. They uploaded it. And the guy there who's using escort now as a land, the Fulef, what do you call it, Rufai, or what do you call it, Bala in Gombe, who is an opportunity today. The APC looking for somewhere to truncate every political party, and we are here, keeping quiet. So I don't want to go this way. What happened is that, you know, when Abacha arrested Abiola or Meko, they never ran away. You were not in the country. They were fighting the Nigeria cause. It will not happen this time. They should not work our national democracy. Allow the other party. What makes party attractive? Make it more enjoyable. Opposition parties. If you leave a child in your house, or this is your daughter, and didn't talk to him or her, you will get the president and you will not know before you get back to that. The beauty of any democracy is a competition. Opposition party. Let me stop here, young man. So I agree with the gentleman in the house. Good morning and God bless you.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Let's pick more calls. Hello, good morning. No, apologies there. I couldn't pick your call early enough. The phone lines are still opened 09055 666699 or 08121877777. Hello, good morning.
Emeka, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and your location.
Emeka, this is Honorable Jude for it, Joshua.
Honorable Jude, please go on.
Emeka, is very, very unfortunate what is happening in the country. You know, when you injure yourself by yourself, don't blame anybody. PDP was injured by Wike. Let everybody blame Wike for causing problem in PDP. Even in Labour Party and even ADC. On Plateau here,
they are having problems. Power tussle, chairman, this and that. No peace within the party. They are the one that destroying themselves by themselves. So when you injure yourself, and as I'm telling you, as I'm telling the audience and everybody, listen to me. Don't say that somebody the cause of your problem. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Emeka.
Good
and
morning,
the
sir.
honorable guest there in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go on. Your name and your location, please.
This Comrade Mandibulus calling you from Defo in Bokos.
Please go on, sir.
Seriously, I admire Barrister Solomon Dalung so much for his courage. Despite in the mix of the adversary. So no matter how the lies travel, in fact, the truth must definitely catch up with it very soon, because people that are peddling rumors, telling lies, because maybe they are getting a largesse from the APC government. In fact, it's just a matter of time. It has started coming. Most of these APC that you are still making noise, they cannot even come to the rural areas and campaign for APC. Let me tell you something. I had one went to share rice in Kano, a senator. He was stunned by the white masses. They think that in fact they will continue to be talking, making noise on social media, thinking that they are safe. Let them come and meet the people who are at the grassroots. If you think you continue to suppress people, think that people will keep quiet. A country like Nigeria, a chairman of APC saying that it is an operation that they cannot they are trouble, they cannot manage their house. That's what the national chairman of APC is saying. Why they are the architects of all the problems that that is happening in most of the opposition parties. Somebody who is not known, because people move there and they went and brings a non-person now to be a national, to be causing a lot of confusion in most of the political parties. Today, like what somebody said in the morning, today, if Barrister and other prominent Nigerians move to YPP, that it has no problem, the same APC will go and cause problems. And people are saying that who is causing it? It is APC that is trying to destroy and kill democracy in Nigeria. And we Nigerians, we have to say no to this. They have nothing to offer to us. They have brought hunger, hardship to us, and they want us to still go and believe in them. But let's unite. That's what I want to tell the barrister in the studio. Unite. In fact, whoever will emerge as a candidate of any political party, let's come together and chase this APC out, because these people, they didn't mean well for us. What they're after is what? To grab power and to remain even Idi Amin of Uganda cannot treat us the way APC is treating us in Nigeria. It's quite unfortunate.
Thank you Thank you so much for calling. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and your location, please. Hello, are you there? Unfortunately, I can't hear you. Please do try to call us back 09055666699 or 081-218-77777. But we've got some comments on Facebook. Some of them I'm sure the barrister would love to tackle. This person says, Manzo Ayuba goes, to tell you the truth, INEC has been compromised because ADC is gathering momentum and there's no going back. APC are saying there's no position on the plateau. I laugh. When we get to 2027, we will know whether there's opposition or not. Gonjo Monday says, Honorable Dalong, you drummed and championed Buhari as Baba Megaskia in 2014. Nigerians were deceived and now and we saw horrific government of Buhari. Can Nigerians trust your group again? He says. Daniel Areen goes, what's the current position of the party? As Amopiton stated clearly, he's not recognizing either faction of the leadership and won't be receiving communication from the party. Again, what is the outcome of the achievements of the party regarding her recent protest at INEC office Abuja concerning the party's convention? What is going to be her fate now, and what position has the party's leadership taken regarding the nephew Gombe's Gombe Iscariot? Tengwang Steven says, until there's a sacrifice, opposition would not hold water. Everyone knows the right thing to do, but they will not because of egos. And finally, Charity Harley goes, party difference is the main problem that we're having in Plateau State. Politics is a game of game of interest, Banshak Julius says he's not going to support the ADC because of you, and says when he was a minister, what did he do for his immediate community? So I'm going to let you respond to these questions in the next 4 minutes. All right, so one person asked, I think one of the questions is, since you campaign for Buhari, why then should they trust you this time?
Okay, it's my time for...
Yes, it's your time to answer.
Well, the last person who said, what did I do for my community? He's only asking rhetorical questions where mischief makers always act. In 3 years, I left giant strike in my immediate community that nobody since 1999 has done. The 3 projects I brought to Langtang South were the only federal government projects since 1999 that brought. So if you don't know, don't ask a mischievous question. I am not against you supporting APC. Let me say something about APC. I am the happiest man living today on the plateau. And I will answer the person who said I drummed Buhari. When I brought APC here, I was rejected as an agent of the caliphate who was trying to Islamize Plateau State. There was no names I was not called, including this one that said I drummed Buhari. Today, I am very happy to the Most High God. I've been able to convert Plateau into, I'm able to be Islamized Plateau. I'm so happy. And I said, God, thank you for being my God. I've Islamized Plateau. Because all of them now are what? APC. I want any of them who is having conscience to look at me in the face and ask me a question. So even the one that asked that question, I've Islamized him, is in the APC. Because in 2015, even those who voted for APC within my vicinity were beaten. I had to go and get security. And I was referred to as an agent of the caliphate. Now, Solomon Dalong is now a born-again Christian and is not ready to Islamize Plateau, but people of Plateau have been Islamized. They are APC. So I want anybody who has modicum of integrity to face me and talk to me about it.
My last question.
Those who are talking APC, they should bury their heads in shame. I brought APC on the plateau and in Nigeria. And when the APC derailed, because we campaigned on 4 agenda, and when we were derailing, even before 2019, at the end of my tenure, I confronted Buhari. Can we assess ourselves? These 4 demands that we campaigned, is there anywhere realized? I asked the president one question. Again, the last one. I said, a woman gave us 1 million in Kebbi and said it's her contribution for a better Nigeria. She was led. Can we honestly say that we have met the dream of this woman? He couldn't answer it. So when I realized that we were not on course, I did not keep quiet. So if he cannot trust a man who will be able to distinguish when he's going right and wrong, and now he has been Islamized by APC, and he's wearing cap now that has handcuff, and he's following Tinubu because according to him, Tinubu's wife is a Christian, and so they will have access to power. Good luck. But for me, I thank my God because I've Islamized people.
And my final question, I want you to answer it in one word. Would you agree to a coalition between the ADC and the PDP? Yes or no?
It is going to evolve naturally. The APC, Bola Tinubu is the campaign director of the opposition. He's one campaigning for us. Because every day he takes steps that make us more popular. With the delisting of ADC, within 24 hours, 40,000 people joined the ADC. Prominent politicians in the north whom I was approaching them to join the ADC, and they said we were considering. Immediately, Joash Amopitan became the leader of the faction of ADC. They have moved into ADC. In Kebbi, General Bande has joined ADC. Marafa, who controls the politics of Zamfara, has joined ADC. More people are coming onto the ADC. We remain Islamize in Plateau under the APC brought by Dalung, who was trying to Islamize Plateau.
All right, thank you so much, sir. This has been an interesting conversation, which could go further, but unfortunately, we are very much out of time. But hey, like you always do, you can drop your comments on our Facebook platform to share your thoughts and continue this conversation. From me to you, stay out of trouble, spread love, and seek the truth. Adios. Coming up by 10 a.m. is the news. Bye, people.
J-Town. This is 101.9.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't call me